Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Min approves. Okay, save it. See what else you can talk about.
What's on your mind?
I was just thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
It's difficult sometimes. Fighting a human war that has nothing to do with me. Everyone expects so much from me. Go back to my old life. I think it was the best thing that happened to me.
You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
I'll be ready when the time comes.
And that gives me hope.
Yeah, that was easy.
Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
I know they were more respected in the old days.
It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white Gryphons was enough to rouse a weary
When do I
heart
get my Gryphon?
and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful,
I want my
feared and
white
respected,
Gryphon.
but they also inspired the common people. I
Yeah.
remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Let's hear it. Does the story have Gryphons in it?
Maker's mercy, it's like talking to a child.
I don't really care if there are Gryphons in it.
Yes, there are Gryphons in this story. The Blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came.
Their lazy
They
asses
arrived with the
late.
beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
Take all the credit. Gryphons?
Yes, Gryphons. Now listen to the rest of the story. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
What sorcery? Cunning. I like happy endings. Let's use cunning.
You are observant. This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
+2. That would have been higher if I didn't screw around with the Gryphons, but I just had to. Like, after I made a big deal about it, the game allowed me to too. I really like that blue sword. I'd like a replica of that. Isn't that the one Mom gave me? The other one, it's kind of nice too, but that blue one is spiffy. I'd walk around town with that.
What's on your mind?
As a Grey Warden, I'll never leave a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
That makes me sad. Wow, you're blunt. I already knew the answer, don't know why I asked.
Because you were not looking for the answer, but for someone to tell you that in spite of it, you'll be all right. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
It's on my mind constantly. Well, a little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything? Chantry doesn't offer much of either.
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things.
Like what?
But she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
I think she's right. Only the weak accept their fates. Can't get enough of that religious crap trap. Oh, I can't do that.
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
So you guys warlocks are polar opposites of priests. I mean, mages. Even I'm getting screwed up. I suppose priests have a lot to give up to, but priests have to choose to be priests. Mages don't. Suppose mages don't get to choose. Suppose priests have to give up a lot too.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty, and there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Sort of. It doesn't sound healthy. Would you hate me if I said you were full of rubbish? It wouldn't be easy to live that way. It won't be easy to live that way. It doesn't sound healthy.
It isn't healthy to throw yourself at a pack of darkspawn either in order to save the world. So I'd say you're in no position to judge.
I do
You
it
can
to save
scream
myself.
and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden. Or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Only +1, huh? I probably could have done a lot better there. Oh well, that's what gifts
What's
are
on
for.
your mind?
I'd like to ask something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Why didn't you want to stay at the tower? Oh, why did you become a mage?
People don't become mages. They are born
I'm supposed to
mages.
do this one first.
The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
What about your family? Damn, those are both good questions. That one's mean.
I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm.
You have to go
I
kill her
was
parents,
found,
too.
and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it
bastard.
happened,
Let's go kill him.
but one day, he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
Serves him right.
He ran screaming, dripping head and all, to his mother. I was shut up in the barn with a bowl of water and a crust of hard bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
No, I don't get that. Whenever somebody's like a supernatural person full of power, like, if you treat them like shit and they don't blow your head off immediately, then you should, like, realize that they have self-control and stuff. Like, I mean, when they give her, like, the best food, to show that she didn't, like, blow their house up, that's what I would do. If I had a mage that could set me on fire, I would give them the finest food and eat the hard bread right in front of them to show humility. Especially if, I imagine she was pretty hot as a kid. A hot chick that could light you on fire. I don't think I'd be dunderheaded enough to throw rocks at her. What are the Templars mean to you?
One of them ignored me, but the other was kind to me. He gave me sweets and even sat me on his shoulders once when I wanted to look over a high wall that ran along the road.
Oh.
I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life.
Yeah, I acted the same
stopped
way.
being afraid then. I knew I was home.
That's a great story.
Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the circle.
What was life like in the tower?
I would be lying if I said it was easy. First, there were rules, and we were constantly watched to make sure we behaved appropriately. Then there was the study of magic. We had to cast the spells just so, control the effects completely. A single word spoken incorrectly, a gesture out of sync, and lack of focus. And we needed to have perfect focus, or we would be in danger.
I can understand that. At least you learn the dangers of magic. Danger from what?
Without the circle and my mentors, I would not have been where I am today.
Dangers of
And
magic.
there was joy in life at the circle. The joys of fellowship, in knowing that you were not alone in your struggles.
Yeah.
In spite of everything, I was happy in the tower, and I loved it.
I'd be happy in the tower too. Oh, okay. Goodbye. +1. See, what does she end up at? $44. I'm gonna give her a gift so that I can get her up to 54. Let's see, she likes booze, right? I think it's for the dwarf. We'll get later. I don't even have all the characters now. Wine. Let's give her 2 wines and see what happens. Oops, I know how to do it. Hopefully this will get her up there.
Oh, marvelous. Oh, marvelous.
Ooh. Sweet. More willpower. 56.